Good morning, everyone. Are you doing this morning, this fine spring day? Uh, so excited. We're going to debunk some myths for you today. And we both have our thoughts of what we want to debunk. So, Barbara?
Good morning, everyone. Yes, we're going to be talking about the myths versus the truth of motivation. This is Motivation Monday. And plus it's the first week of April. This is the next year. So what are you going to do? What are we doing? And that's so myth number, let's just get right into it. Myth number one is that motivation is either something you have.
Hold on a second. I want to know if anybody got April Fooled. If you got April Fooled, put it down in the chat.
I did not get an April Fool.
I did it. I did it. So that, it was what, Saturday? So think back.
I did not.
If you got fooled, put it
Saturday.
in the chat. So anyway, I'm excited that we're starting a whole new month, that we're starting a whole new quarter. We're starting a whole new, we've kind of supposedly into the season of spring. That was a couple of weeks ago. However, lots of parts of the country are still getting heavy snow. So yeah, they don't think it's spring yet.
Right. Oh, I know. We talked to a gal the other day that she lives in Edmonton, and they have still got feet of snow.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Anyways, so let's get into it. Myths versus truth. People so often, and I hear this, is that, well, I'm just not built to be motivated. Motivation, the myth is that people think that you're either the thing is, motivation is not a fixed trait. It's not something that people have or they don't have. Everyone has the ability to be motivated.
It's a choice.
It's a choice, but it's also a skill.
Yes.
It's a choice. Yes, you have to want to be motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Which is your choice. But then you can learn, there's tips, there's strategies. It's a skill that you can learn and develop over time. It doesn't just, oh, I'm going to be motivated. Well, that could be the decision. I mean, okay, like I'm going to tell on myself this morning when I woke up, I mean, I was all nice and cozy in my bed. And did I want to get out of my bed? No, I didn't. And which is unusual for me. I am normally just kind of like, let's go. This morning, it was like, okay, Lord, I need some help today, right at this moment, to get up, to give me that little boost of motivation and to just get going. Well, number one, I mean, it always helps that I have a dog that's batting at the side of my bed going, Mom, get up, get up, get up. So when you have a dog and a cat, you have to get up. If I didn't have them, would I have gotten up right then? Maybe not. Because to tell you the truth, I was not motivated right at that moment to get up. So then I'm lying there thinking of all the things that I want to do today. And that's one of the keys too.
Well, in Keith,
what do you want
let me
to
tell
do
Keith's
today?
story today. he
All
was
right.
kind of enjoying the bed, and I had gotten up. I get up way before him usually, so I can have my quiet time in the quiet. And he usually gets up with the chickens to let them out and such as that. Occasionally he'll go back to bed, but usually lately with the new stuff we've been doing, he stays up. But I thought Barbara was calling me because it was just about time for us to start doing our pre-call and things like this. This was, several hours ago that we planned. And it was the post office. We have a new hive of bees that arrived today. So, you know, and he heard me talking to them. He goes, "Oh," and he got up and was kind of stumbling around because he wanted to get over to the post office to get the bees. And who knows, he may come in here in a minute and show us the bees because I'm upstairs instead of downstairs. But it's kind of exciting. It's spring. It's time for all the little animals in the gardens and the,
Yeah.
you know, all that to happen. So lots to be motivated by right now. Yeah, very much. But yeah, he
Right.
was struggling a little bit. We were out kind of
Exactly.
late last night at a meeting. So yeah.
Right. Right. And we all have to do, but that's the thing. We have learned ways to get ourselves up and going.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah, order bees.
yeah. And if you think you can't be motivated, all right. So today this is going to be a short show. But so often the myth, people think that if they have fear and punishment, that's the best way to motivate people. The thing is that we do that to ourselves. We think that fear and punishment is going to motivate us. Yeah, well, no, it doesn't. All it does is it makes us feel bad.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so then when you have that fear and punishment, it might work for a split second, but it's like putting your hand on a hot stove. You're not going to keep it there for very long. It'll be an almost instant off.
Right.
That's
Well, and
not
how
the
many of
way
us were raised with that fear and punishment to motivate us?
with that
You know, that
fear
it,
and punishment.
yeah, it's like the horse whisperers. You have to make them want. I mean, you cannot force a horse to do anything. I mean, face it, they are much bigger than you are, and you can break them. You can do things to help them go the way you want. But if a horse doesn't want to move, or better yet, a mule, you're not going to move
Okay,
them.
you're not going to move
There,
them.
yeah, there
Right.
is no way you could move a mule that doesn't want to move. So think
Right.
about
Right.
that.
So
And
it
you know, before, since this is short, I do want to do another myth. And one of the myths is around the holidays that we have coming up. You know, everybody's getting their Sunday best out because there's so many people that go to church just on Easter and Christmas. Personally, I call it Resurrection Sunday, but we've got another holiday here. It's a Moedim, which is an appointed time to meet with God. It's an appointed time. We call them feasts, but they're truly Moedims. That's the Hebrew word. And they are what people call the Jewish feasts. Well, my God was a Jew. My God is a Jew. Okay. He was raised in the Jewish faith. He followed all the protocols of the Jewish faith. And he said for us to be like him. So does that mean we are to do what he did? It's not to, did you get him?
right.
I've been naming them out there.
You've been naming them? bring the box in so I
Oh,
can.
they're already got in the barn. I put them up.
Oh,
there.
okay.
They're already.
Um, the thing about it is that you don't have to do it like a Jewish person does it.
Proud parents of a new hive of bees.
Yeah, proud parents of the new beehive. So we had some
Parents of a
other
new
bees
beehive.
come and kill our beehives this last year, so we had to replace them when they were available. But anyway, so think about it. I mean, you don't have to go do all the protocols that they teach in the Jewish faith, but stop and think and ask God what he wants you to do. Ask him how he wants you to celebrate this time, and take the time to go step away. It's an 8-day long feast or 8-day long appointment time. Starts Wednesday night. And just, you know, say, Lord, how do I do this? And I don't know how many of y'all noticed a few years ago where people put the red ribbons on their doors. And for the first time in 2020, the entire world was shut in on Passover. And for those of y'all don't know what Passover is, it's when right before the Jews went to the Red Sea and when all the firstborn of Egypt died, and that was the country of the day. And the people put lamb's blood on their doorposts so that the death angel would pass over them. So kind of just take a minute, read that story Wednesday night, and just ask God, say, how do you want me to approach this? Because he will tell you. And if you say, oh, I can't hear from God, you hear from him all the time. Do you listen? I mean, he's speaking all the time. And
Just are we listening?
yeah, are we listening? So that's my little myth buster that, Passover is not just for the Jewish faith. It is
So,
also for
You know,
the
exactly. And so, and then myth bust. Yeah.
so
And there are so many myths that, and
Yes.
here's tripod.
I saw tripod.
That we might have to do several shows on the myth.
Mhm.
Yes. But
Because the
anyways,
myths, if you tell a myth long enough, I think it goes back to Stalin or what it hit not, but anyway, maybe it's Hitler, that if you tell somebody something long enough and hard enough, they believe it. They think it's true, but it's really a myth.
they'll
So
believe it. But it's
and
so
we've been
that's why
taught
we
so
just,
many myths, especially being raised like with the fear and the fear for motivation.
right.
We've been
Right.
taught, oh, if I don't do this, this will get it. And how many people think, oh, if I don't go to church on Sunday, God's gonna strike me down? Well, no, he wants you to do what he puts in your heart. I'm not saying don't go to church. It says don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together. But it doesn't necessarily mean that, and I grew up with the myth. I live in the Bible Belt. And so everybody needed to grow up to be either a preacher or a preacher's wife and stuff. I mean, that was the big deal, especially in some of the denominations here. If you weren't the preacher or the preacher's wife, you had to at least play the piano. So, and that's not true.
Yeah.
There are people, my husband was a paint contractor. And one day God said, he was going, God, we had a chance to go on a very large church's staff, and it would have been very lucrative. And God said, if that's what you want, that's, you can have that, but know that I won't be able to move you in the way that I want you to go, in all the ways that I want you to go. You will be, in a yoke, basically, for lack of a better term, not necessarily a bad yoke, but in a yoke. And after we made that decision to not do that, God told me, Keith was saying, but why haven't I ever gotten to be in a pulpit and are not, or on a church staff, so to speak. And God said, I have you in places to talk to people that will never darken the door of a church, because he was a painting contractor and he would go into homes and remodel these very high dollar homes and do their cabinets and just kind of, and things that would take sometimes days and weeks to complete a job. And many, many people came to know Jesus because Keith was in their home on a daily basis. So don't negate where he has you, because that may be, those may be the people he's trying to reach. And you just be kind and you love them where they are. Don't condone the sin, but love them where they are. And who knows? Who knows what people you might win over?
Right. So that just give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Don't use fear or punishment on yourself or on other people, because you know what, also too, when you do that, when those things, that just leads to decreased creativity. You decrease your creativity.
Exactly.
You get lower productivity, which is what this show is all about. And plus it adds to your stress. We do not need stress.
Yeah.
That does not help you to be motivated.
No, it does
and
not.
Yet people have been taught to do that. that, and just either it's like, oh, well, we have to do this, and it's like, no, you get to do, you don't have to do anything. That's a stressor. You get to do. What do you get to do today that is going to move your business, either your business or your mission or your ministry, whatever it
Your
is
life.
that will move that needle
Yeah.
forward, even one step,
Yes. And I mean, this applies to
even just
family.
your life.
Yeah, it applies to family, it applies to business,
Yes.
it applies to church. The whole old saying of you can catch a lot more flies with honey than you can with vinegar.
Right.
So,
And when vinegar.
I mean, you don't wink at sin, you don't approve it or tell people that it's right, but you love them hate the sin and love the sinner. So
Right.
hate the
Exactly.
lack of motivation,
And but that
love being
includes yourself.
motivated. Huh?
Right. That includes yourself.
Amen.
So many people that I talk to, they are so caught up in the outer image of who they are that they don't take stock of who they are within, because they're putting on a facade. They're wearing a mask. Look like not good. We Carol and I, we talk to a lot of people. We talk to people from all over the world. And that's exactly what we hear so often, that outwardly I had it all.
Mhm.
I was motivated, I was productive, I was this, I was that, whatever descriptive word that they would use. But inside I was a hot mess.
Oh yeah. Well, and then there's the
Well,
people that we both
that's
deal
where
with.
that fear and punishment.
Yes, we both deal with people that are starting the second half of their life, mainly baby boomers, and second half can start in your
Gen
20s.
X's.
Yeah, lots of people are starting their second half early right now. They're reinventing themselves.
Exactly.
But if you do that, it's a good thing, but do it with grace and mercy, and do it with fun.
With ease and flow.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right.
Exactly.
With ease and flow. So, yeah. Anyways, so I had 5 tips for today. Well, we've gotten through 2 and now we're out of time.
Oops.
Oops. But you know what? I'm thinking though, Carol, that this is such a timely subject, such a needed subject.
Yeah.
That I think maybe we should have this for the whole month of April.
Well, yes, we're starting a new season.
Have the theme of just
Yes.
the myth versus the truth.
Yes, we're starting a new
We
season.
all
We're
are in
starting a
need of
new.
what we teach and what we know ourselves.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
starting a new season.
Yes. So yes, I think that is a good thing that we need to do and continue with. So yeah, I agree. So watch for a little series here. This
Yeah.
is number
And
1, and we will talk to
watch for
you
series.
soon.
Yeah.
Exciting times ahead. Exciting
So-
times.
So make sure that you like, comment, ring the bell,
Yes, subscribe.
ring the bell. So because then you'll get notified when the next
Yeah.
subscribe. Yes, exactly. Share it out to your friends.
Yes.
Who
yes.
do you
We're
know
on
right
both
now that is
Facebook and
basing
YouTube.
their productivity and their motivation on fear and punishment?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. So share it out. We will see
And
you
so
again
come
next
and listen.
week.
Come and listen.
Bye.